Hi everyone, it's Sylvia here from Alec Ian Holistic Center and Spa, and I'm going to continue sharing my journey of how I developed mind force manipulation therapy, which is a form of therapy that I do here at Alec Ian Holistic Center, and it is more than just a regular massage. It is a form of natural medicine that isn't found anyplace else in the world. So there I was, 19 years old, a new massage therapist in the field. This is way back in 1992. And my very second patient that I had the privilege to work on was a woman that the orthopedic surgeon had referred to me because she had heel spurs. And the spurs were so painful that when she would wake up in the morning to walk, she could not stand on her feet. The pain was so intense, she would have to crawl to the bathroom in the morning because she was in such severe pain. But at that time, she didn't want to have surgery. She opted not to do the surgery to remove the spurs at the bottom of her feet. So the orthopedic was like, well, why don't you try massage? They were kind of just dumping her on me to see if possibly maybe I might be able to help. So, being that I had such an amazing result with my very first client who had his entire leg crushed in an automobile accident, and I saw the potential that I had to really help people who are in severe pain, I didn't want to let this woman down. I didn't want to be another thing that she tried that didn't work for her. Because if you suffer from chronic pain, you know what it means to be depleted emotionally, mentally, physically. You are just depleted from enduring pain day in and day out, waking up with pain, going to bed with pain, trying to sleep through the pain. So I just didn't want to let her down. So once again, I started to research. What is a heel spur? How do we get them? Why do we get them? What are they made of? And again, I came up with my very own theory. I had a theory, and obviously nobody could disprove my theory because a chiropractor doesn't do hands-on work like I do. The orthopedic surgeon doesn't do hands-on work like I do. So the only person that could either prove the theory to be correct or the theory to be wrong would have to be me. So there I was, just inventing something, coming up with something that I felt was going to work, and I tried it. I tried on the client, I worked on her, and I decided that there's got to be a way to dissolve this heel spur without surgery. So I applied the mind force manipulation techniques that I had created at that time, which they have evolved a lot over the years, but I applied it, and then I had her come back again in a week. When she came back again in a week, she got to the chiropractor's office before I did, and when I walked into the office, she took one look at me and started crying. Tears were rolling down her face, and I thought, oh my God, I hurt her. I screwed up. This woman is probably hurting more than she was. She's probably gonna sue me. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna lose my license. So I didn't want to go up to her and ask her how she was feeling, because I for sure thought that she was going to tell me I hurt her and her feet are all messed up. So I went up to her and I was like, so how are you feeling? And she started crying even harder, and she said that her feet hadn't hurt her in 3 days. So once again, my theory worked. Thank God, because I really thought I was going to lose my job. All of this was new, nobody had taught me this. I hadn't read any books on anything remotely like what I was doing. So there wasn't any way for me to really know if it was going to work or if it was going to really hurt people more than they already were. So anyway, that was my second client. And so the more opportunity that I had to work on people, the more I began to develop systems, routines, incorporate more elements into my treatments, because my treatments are more than just a massage. My treatments include the 5 forms of complementary and alternative medicine. It includes magnesium infused oil, it includes magnet therapy, it includes guided imagery, it includes obviously the hands-on deep tissue, it includes energy work, a form of advanced Reiki, but it's called Qigong. So there's a lot of elements involved in what I do. It's not just a massage. So that was my very second client, my very second patient that I had when I was only 19 years old. And then, you know, my knowledge and my experience just grew from there. The more success I had, the more I wanted to get better at it, the more I wanted to try harder, and I was always up for a new challenge. I was always excited when I got something different, something that I'd never done before, because then that meant I could learn and change what I was already doing to fit that condition, to fit that disease. So since then, as far as feet problems, I have seen plantar fasciitis, neuromas, arthritis of the feet, arthritis of the toes. I think that my worst case that I have ever had was a gentleman who had severe arthritis in his big toe. And that arthritis in his big toe was so bad that when he would get home from work, he could not walk out of his car. He would throw his body out of the car and crawl into the house. And this man was still young enough to be active. He played tennis, he surfed, he went bike riding, but he had to give all that up because the pain from his toe was making his entire leg and hip hurt. He was just miserable. So when he went to the orthopedic surgeon to find a solution for this pain, the orthopedic surgeon told him that his best option for how severe that arthritis was in the toe was to have the toe amputated. So his wife said, no, you're not going to have your toe amputated. You're going to go see my girl, Sylvia, or Elora, whatever you want to call me. I like E. So she says, you're going to go see Sylvia. So then he didn't want to come see me. Most of the male clients that I have always come in here kind of kicking and screaming, you know, they really skeptical. And I really think it's because you're in so much pain, and you're just so miserable, and the pain is so severe that you don't think that there's anything that can possibly work. So I totally get it. I mean, I've seen it thousands of times. People come in here kicking, screaming, they don't want to be here, they give me attitude, they don't want to answer my questions, they kind of shrug when I ask them a question, they don't want to give me information. So I'm like, how long has your toe been hurting? You know, or when does it hurt more, morning or evening? They don't want to tell me because they're just miserable. So I get it, you know, he wasn't very nice to me, and he regrets that now. So I worked on his toe. You know, I had a theory for arthritis. I knew that there was a way to repair it. I came up with a theory as to what causes the arthritis, etc. I applied my natural medicine to his toe. I saw him probably 4 to 6 times. When, after I think the 3rd or 4th time, he couldn't move that toe at all. That toe was completely locked, completely stuck. After the 3rd or 4th time, the toe moved and it even cracked. like when you crack your knuckle. And he screamed. He literally almost jumped off the table, not because he was in pain, but because he was just in shock that his toe was able to do that. Anyway, after that, the pain in his leg and his toe completely went away. He started surfing again. He started playing tennis again. And, you know, years have gone by. It's been probably 6-7 years since I treated that toe. And when I saw him, like, I think a year or 2 years ago, he was in here to buy a gift certificate for his wife. I made fun of him because I was like, are you still mad at me? You know, because he was mad. He didn't want to be here, but his wife paid for his treatments, so he was kind of forced to come. And he laughs because, and he says, you know, I never would have believed it had I not experienced it myself. So again, any form of musculoskeletal problem that you have, that you may think that there is no hope for, there probably is. And I've probably worked on somebody who's had your condition the same or worse. And I don't care if your condition has been there 3 months or 30 years, we can still get you 80 to 100% better. And so that is my experience with working with the feet. It started with heel spurs, and then, you know, I just worked with so many other conditions ever since. But the worst case was the toe that had to be amputated.